All right, we on. All right, so I'm talking about the Irv Gotti comment on Drink Champs, and how Irv Gotti said that the old heads and the young cats, they don't get along with each other. One of them thinks that they're the older heads, young cats think the older heads are corny. The older cats think that the young cats don't have skill. We don't respect them. And so I got 3 artists right here, and then we're in V20 right now, and we're talking about this conversation, and I got some other stuff that we'll talk about as well. So we have to my right, everyone say your name.
Jbeal.
Chris Marke.
Marke the Myth.
Brandon's over there, and then we have Brandon, we got Ryan upstairs, but that's it. We're in V20. All right, so Chris, you were saying about the whole comment.
Yeah. So I was saying that I agree with everybody being on the same track, because hip hop always gonna be changing. You know, hip hop is always gonna have somebody else coming up over generations and generations, and the next day we're gonna be the old heads. And that's the way I always think about it. Like back in the day when they were coming out, everybody, Biggie, Pac, even back in the day, like KRS-One, Run DMC, all the old people were just like, yo, what the hell are they doing? Like, what are they wearing? Like, what are they rocking? Like, they concerts, like, these kids is going crazy. Like, and I don't agree with it. But I think that cycle's going to keep going unless eventually we break it. And I think we in the age right now to break it. Everybody's on the same tip, trying to do hip-hop, trying to make music for the better, trying to make sure we take care of our fam and everything like that. So, bigger team, bigger results.
Mm-hmm. That's good. What do you think?
I agree. I think the older dudes should always try to support the younger dudes that got potential to stay in it and represent hip hop the right way. I think the youngins get a lot of pushback sometimes from the older dudes because they feel like they misrepresenting what they built. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, they not understanding that, the building that you built, it's not going to stay that way forever. It was never meant to stay that way forever. It's going to always change. It's going to always be pushed in different directions based on what the kids like. And it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes when you get older and realize that the kids, they don't relate to what you was kicking back in the day. It's about what, the next dude is talking about, because that's the reality they living in. That's the stuff they seeing on the internet every day. So at the end of the day, what you were talking about is really not too relevant, but legends are legends. So I don't think if you got the crown on you to be named a legend that you should be, talking down on the younger generation. You should be trying to guide them in the right direction, or telling them things that might give them a little bit more longevity like you had. You feel me? Because it's too many rappers going in and out, and a lot more of them could be staying a little bit longer if the OGs showed them a little bit more love,
True. What'd you say?
Yeah, like my man said right here, those legends, they got there for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? If you're a legend, you did something that's out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? You progressed in some way or shape or form. So a lot of the people that are, trying to stop, like people that are, because if you look today, you can't listen to something in the 80s. I mean, you can, but you hear something in the 80s, you're like, oh man, what's this? Like, it's totally different than what we're doing today. Some would say that it's way better. You know what I mean, sound-wise, just like technically, it just sounds better, and that's just because people have grown, and you know what I mean. They pushing the culture and the whole genre as a whole forward. So it's always going to be progressing. There's always going to be people that don't agree with this or that, but if you really fuck with hip hop, then you know what I mean. You're always for like the progression.
That's what's up. Another thing I heard this week is that. What's the guy name? Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Homeboy said that the state of hip hop is actually in a bad.
Tory Lane
said they are bad. What do y'all feel about that? Because I can tell you right now, I don't really mess with that comment. I actually think that I think something totally different. But I'll tell you what I think about it later. Go ahead.
I guess it's all about the perception of it. Like the way that he was putting it was like, people got the same style, got the same rhyme scheme, and it's like very repetitive. And he's probably coming from what he grew up on, which was you didn't listen to an artist and they sounded like the next artist. It used to be corny to sound like the next dude. It wouldn't be a cipher of 5 people rapping the same style. But nowadays, like it's just the thing. Like if it's hot, it's hot, and everybody's kind of trying to pick off of what's hot and then mold it into their own
And I
way.
think
So I don't think that it's terrible or going downhill or anything like that. I mean, it just depends on how you look at it.
And he's the wrong person to even bring that up because a lot of his music, he's stealing other people's flows.
Exactly. He ain't doing nothing different.
So, he's guilty of what he's mad at.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I feel like there's nothing wrong with it, for real. If you want to sound like what the hot sound is, you can try it. But like you say, you're going to be one of them artists that's not hot for long.
Mm-hmm.
But make a hot song. We'll all enjoy it in the club.
Exactly.
I'm not mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get your money, man. You always want to see somebody get the bag.
Yeah.
And my thing is right now, if that's the move, and that's getting more people put on. I mean, hip hop at the top of the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
you
all
can't
I'm
be
gonna
mad at that, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
this
say.
This is a flourishing time for hip hop, the black community, the hip hop community, all in all. This is the time for growth. I mean, we on the top pillar right now. Can't be mad at that.
And now the old rappers is mad because they not getting the bags like the little dudes no more. They like, bro, all these youngins is getting millions and we still can't even get the tours right. I feel them, but hey, you guys salute the youngins.
Yeah, you do. That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say, like, when I heard the comment, I was like, yo, hip hop is the number one genre in the world.
In the world, right?
Like, period. Like, no genre in the world every genre in the world has brought in hip hop in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yo, when he made that comment, I was like, I disagree with this.
Yeah.
I disagree. He's just talking right now. He's like, it's exactly where like Kanye makes a crazy, statement, and then he drops an album or he does something crazy. This is the same thing I think Tory Lanez is doing.
I'll say this though. I will say this. The process in which rappers in the earlier eras made albums is 10 times better than what the rappers do today. It's a small group of rappers today that really like put bodies of work together, and it's like a storyline woven and mixed in with interludes and things that take you on like a journey. Basically, every rapper not going to create an album that really takes you on a journey filled with like Kendrick's albums and some of Big Crit's albums, YB and Corday's albums. It's a formula to creating that album, and a lot of rappers today really don't have that formula. They don't even care about it. They just create the songs, put them on the track list, and let it run as the album. So the art of making the album kind of been lost in the rap game.
I also think that a big thing that Tory Lanez was probably addressing, like you said, I do agree that he was just trying to create some noise for his album. Yeah, I do think like that. But I also do think he was maybe addressing like mainstream. I don't think he was talking. When people say hip hop, I think a lot of times what they're referencing is just the mainstream music that a lot of the radio is pushing. And for him, I mean, he's probably just saying that a lot of it sounds the same. But then again, look who's controlling it. Like it's the radio. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that want people to hear what they want to push. You know what I mean? And Tory Lanez is a radio guy, so I really don't know what he's referencing.
Tory Lanez makes hits. I just know that a lot of his songs when he was coming up and getting popular, he was sounding like Travis and sounding like Future and sounding like whoever was hot. He would do the flow in the song, like, you know what I'm saying? Make his voice sound like him. So he did it. He just got to a point where he got his own niche now, and he's him. He's Tory now. So now he's in a place where he could be like, things sound how they sound, but
you did that too.
Yeah, of course, man. It's easy to point back. It's point fingers back when you there.
Yeah.
But when you wasn't there, we was all saying the same thing.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, so another thing that I heard this week was about Russ. Russ, he was talking about actually hip hop. He was saying that as a white rapper, Russ, he thinks that his success is based upon the white community backing him. He said he's accepted by the white community that likes hip hop, but it's not accepted from the hip hop community. And I think that's 100% true. When he said that out of his mouth, I was like, oh, okay.
He doesn't feel like
the hip hop
black hip hop supports him.
They do not, and he said it. Nori says, because this is another Drink Champs joint reference. Nori says, wow, but here's the one thing I do respect about Russ. First of all, it was a big it's big that he made that statement because he's confessing. He said, "Man, it's not because of the hip hop community. Because the hip hop community, they like, I don't mess with you."
Right.
But he said, "But the check I got from the hip hop old heads,
Right.
this is the reason why some of these people or you guys are starting to listen to me now." And Nori says, and I totally agree because I kind of looked at Russ because I'm not gonna lie, I never really messed with Russ. I never did.
Yeah.
But his grind and his like sticking to the music, it reminds you of the old times, like back in the day where these guys stuck with their music and believed in what they believed in and went after it. It reminds you of that. It's a little bit different from people who just dropping music just to drop music. His grind and the way he's explaining it, this guy really has some thought process behind it. And so I think that his check on just that, it just kind of like, it made me stop and think like, this guy might be on to something.
Yeah, I guess he just got to drop something that wakes us up.
Yeah.
I definitely caught on to Russ, and I guess caught interest in him from just how he was moving, like you said, and the way he was doing business and what he was talking about, like the behind the scenes part of his grind. It wasn't more or less about his music. It was just he kept on, stories kept popping up about how he did this and how he created that and how he handles his masters and being independent and stuff like that. Like that was the conversation about him. It wasn't ever about like a hit song he had out. So I mean, he just got to drop that fire and get us on it. You know? Whoever coming to his shows, he's clearly good.
Right? Yeah. I was saying, back to that Tory Lanez comment, man. When could you have ever been back in the day besides the only couple rappers that we knew to be a white artist saying that the black hip hop community don't support you, and you still making money off the hip hop? That's crazy. That means that hip hop is flourishing. You can even break down into different communities across the world and be like, oh yeah, this hip hop community don't fuck with me, but this one do. Man, that's crazy. That's dope. I mean, if you can still cut that check and still doing what you're doing, it don't matter who's supporting you. You still getting support. I feel where he coming from, but at the same time, he doing it.
He is.
Yeah, and I agree. I think he just knows his audience. You know what I'm saying? And the people, let's be honest, the people that are going to the shows and paying, they got money. They're white people. Black people. Sometimes a lot of areas, black people don't have like enough to pay for these huge festivals and things like that. So you look at the videos and it's like just a sea of white people. You know what I mean? So they're the ones that are kind of paying for all this. So, but if you look at like him, he just knows. I'm sure M is like all these guys know their audience. Logic, they all know their audience. So he's just saying that he knows his audience.
Yeah. So crazy thing is he made that comment and it made me think about this. 2 years ago, we had the Manassas One Love. Okay, I'm downtown Old Town Manassas, and these this kid named Jack Hess, which by the way dropped a song 2 weeks ago, hit 100K in 1 week in streaming on Spotify. I'm like, how? He has a good voice, but I mean, I know at least 50 artists that like can blow him out of the water, legit. Okay, but I was downtown with him, and his performance wasn't good. No diss to him. I haven't had him on a podcast. Respect to him, his crew. I know people who work with him. All respect them all. Long story short, they like, yo, take a picture with your phone and tag us. I'm like, okay, I'm down for that. I took a picture. The next morning, it's like 32,000 likes on that picture. I was like, who am I taking pictures with? Like I didn't know who it was. And there's a kid on my left side. His name is Peter. Now, Instagram hired this kid at 17 years old to help them with the algorithm and to be able to reach people. He had 3 pages with a million followers on each. This kid knew what he was doing. Russ says that these are the people that drive his sales up, and so his target audience, like you said, was to reach those kids, so those kids can actually drive up those his numbers. And I thought it was like crazy because legit, it made me think about this kid and that one picture with 32,000, and all he did was endorse it just a little bit. I don't know. I was like, this is crazy because I was like, man, what is going on? Like I'm like strolling because I didn't know who it was, and then I found out who this kid was, and legit, he was actually on tour with Disney a few months later doing some stuff with Disney.
Yeah, man, you need these youngins to stamp you. Yeah, that's a part of the grind. Yeah, bro. They got the influence out here now. Like, It's a whole nother world on Instagram.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like back in the day, like you had to know somebody to get in somewhere. You know, like if your name wasn't on the list, it didn't matter. You had to know somebody. So I think it's bringing that into that social media world right now. Like, if you know somebody and you got a little bit of bread, you can make something happen. You know, and if it's whack, you might jump up real quick, but it's gonna fall back down. And if you actually got something good going, it's like, all right, cool. You had somebody to put you out there. Now it's going, whatever's supposed to happen is gonna happen.
What's that? Yeah, I think.
So I know people are like, oh man, like it don't matter no more. You can just pay somebody to do this. You can buy followers. You can buy this, buy that, and da da da. I'm like, it ain't no different than the real world. You know, like you could go out and the next thing you know, you at this party and you meet this dude and all of a sudden he back you. You know what I'm saying? He gonna spread your name out, getting you some contacts. It's the same thing, except you're not doing it in person. You're doing it over a social media network, paying somebody to get you a little bit of love. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I I think that's the reason why. I mean, this is me talking now, but that's why TikTok is about to go crazy.
People have been talking about it too. They're like,
yeah, it's gonna go crazy.
TikTok is about to go crazy.
I promise you.
TikTok is about. I thought it was already
It
crazy.
is crazy. It is crazy.
It already is.
It's about to go. It's on the up and up. And you know, I think that I was actually looking at stocks to actually buy some stocks from TikTok now. Like,
man,
that's a good idea.
I got my music on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm thinking about buying some stocks on it, put some music on it. People are doing inspirational stuff on it now. Like, yeah,
I gotta get on it. I just downloaded it.
I got it about a week ago.
Yo,
I just downloaded it about a week ago.
I just watched the whole like 2-hour thing on TikTok, and I'm
Because at
like,
my job, like all the kids fuck with TikTok.
everybody.
And I'm just like, well, that's a good thing because I mean, like if they all like it and they all still in school and everything like that, that means that all of them got it. That
Just
means
when you think you done got the grasp with IG.
Yeah, I know, right?
Go to TikTok.
and IG switched it up a lot just recently.
Yeah, IG's making changes.
Yeah, because they're gonna make some more changes soon because TikTok has just made some more changes in order to be able to accommodate more people. So I promise you, Instagram is about to go switch a few more things up that's going to be good for us. But TikTok, if you don't have TikTok, and I'm looking at it like, I mean, I did 2 hours of research today. This morning, I was looking at it. It's crazy.
The fans too,
They
bro.
do.
Like,
They do.
I got 7,000-8,000 followers, and every time I post something, like 1,000 people see it, 1,200 people see it. You feel me? So it's like, why do I get all these followers if y'all not gonna show my pictures to my people?
Exactly. They want you to pay. They want you to put that money down for you to pay, and it sucks, man. But it's about that money game, man. Like that's how it is. Like you can't even get endorsed by anybody like that anymore. Like with the new algorithm, it's gonna switch up. I promise you. By January, all that stuff is gonna switch up because it's gonna hurt them because the way TikTok is moving. Yo, they're catering to the young cats, and these young cats is about to take TikTok to the next level. Same thing with Facebook when they came out back in the day. You know, I'm a little older than all of y'all, but like when they were just catering to us, to young cats when they came out. That's how they were like, yo, this is the way, and you see what Facebook is. Yeah. And so then Instagram, they did the same thing.
Like when Vine came
Twitter,
out,
everything,
like
all young. That's all they did. That's the name of the game. You want to market to the young people. You definitely want
TikTok back.
You gotta go get it. Download it back. So, but we good to go. All right. So yeah, we about to do a cipher, 10 toes down, interviews and stuff like that. And thank you guys for coming and listening to this podcast. Like I said, we're in V20, and I just whipped out the phone to have a conversation with some dope artists. And anyway, I didn't say my tagline at the beginning, so I got something to say. When I said you better listen up, it's Frank the host. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.
Peace.